Hey, do me a favor if you don't mind. Like this video, subscribe, share it with somebody you think might need it. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel, checking out these videos where I'm sharing the gospel that I grew up on. Don't be too hard on me. I'm just sharing the way that I understood it and understand it, and trying to shed some light on some of the things that I'm seeing now and understanding the good news is really, really good news, and God is more better. We're going to keep talking about these things. I know I keep talking about the gospel I grew up on, and I don't mean anything bad by it. It's just my experience where I come through. I'm going to share some of the gospel that I'm seeing today. But I'm first of all talking about the gospel that I grew up on. And I wanted to talk a little bit more about this Romans 5:12. Because of Adam's sin, we all sinned. We're born in this world sinners, condemned, unworthy. There's a verse that comes to mind, John 3, talks about you're condemned already because you have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. That's a significant verse. I don't understand it the way that I grew up on it. Maybe we'll get to talk about it a little bit. But this literal word for word understanding of Scripture, this forensic scientific view of Scripture that we have here in the West, it's not very relational. It is relating to a just judge who's given his law, who cannot look upon sin, and he's got this hammer of justice waiting. That was an idea, how that I felt. I didn't realize it as I was growing up, but the way that I felt growing up on this gospel was that hammer of justice, hammer of judgment was about to fall on me at any moment because I was no good. I was a sorry sinner. Deserving the wrath of God. But coming from this idea of being born into this world a sinner, right on the heels of it is this idea that we're born into this world children of the devil. Now, I don't know that I ever heard a sermon on it, but I know that idea, that concept was there with this gospel, that you're born into this world because of Adam's transgression. You're born a sinner, separated from God, worthy of the judgment of God, worthy of hell forever, because we're born children of the devil. And there's a verse of Scripture one time in the Bible that I know of. I don't think there's another one. There might be. You let me know if there is. It's fine. But Jesus said, talking to the religious crowd, Pharisees, I believe. Let me make sure. Yeah, he's talking to the Pharisees, talking about being Abraham's children. If you were Abraham's children, he's delivering the context of it. This adulterous woman. The Pharisees, the religious crowd, brings this woman taken in adultery, the very act. It's probably one of them guys in the crowd that brought her, that she was in the act with, the Pharisee himself. But anyway, this is the context of it. Jesus talking about he's the light of the world. And he says to him, if you were of your father Abraham, you'd believe that I'm who I say I am. But listen to what Jesus says. In verse 42 of John chapter 8, Jesus said unto them, if God were your Father, you would love me, for I proceedeth forth and came forth from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Why do you not understand my speech? Even because you cannot hear my word. Ye are of your father, the devil. The lust of your father you will do. For he was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. He speaketh a lie. He speaks of his own. He's a liar and the father of it. And then Jesus says, because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Which of you convinceth me of sin? And if I say the truth, why do you not believe me? He that is of God hears my words, hears God's words. Ye therefore hear them not, because ye are not of God. Now, taking this at face value, literal understanding as we were taught, we're going to take it, jump it from the Pharisees to whom Jesus was speaking of his day, that religious crowd, and going to apply it to all men everywhere that come into this world and say, see, if you don't know Jesus, if you hadn't come to Jesus and God is not your Father, and therefore you're a child of the devil. Well, that's some hermeneutics there now. We'll come back to it and get into it a little more. See if we can't understand it. Because, but this is the gospel that I grew up on. Talking about being a child of the devil. You're saved by grace, but if you don't do something, you're not saved. Wherefore, as by one man sin entered into the world, and death by sin, so death passed upon all men, for that all have sinned. Maybe next time, in the next video, I'll get into the gospel that I'm understanding now. Not the gospel necessarily that I grew up on, but how I'm understanding the gospel these days. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Like and subscribe if you don't mind. Share it with somebody. Help me get the word out.